Let's talk about your old side, Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yuck.
What's happened to them? I was, of course, on air last night after they lost.
I can imagine.
And every single Spurs fan, everyone bar none, phoned up, basically wanting Jose out.
But listen, they didn't want him in the first place.
No.
And that comes from because they absolutely love Poch. And yeah, Poch did a great job in terms of turning that football club around. Got to a League Cup final, got to a Champions League final, obviously sustained top four a fair few times. And I think the Spurs fans in general enjoyed watching that Pochettino team. I think he got a bit dated towards the end, and that's maybe investment. But you think about when he had like Dembele, Wanyama, these in the middle of the park, really like tearing around.
Also, you look at the back four they had at the time. It was Toby Alderweireld, it was Vertonghen, it was Rose and Walker. Arguably
the best in the league.
All in their pomp as well.
Lloris, goalkeeper, at his absolute best. But you look at them now, and it was quite sad last night. But that type of game there, I don't care. For Spurs to be the club that they are, they can't lose that tie. They should not. They've got a 2-goal head start, and I could not see another winner. I would have said from when they won the first leg, our game over. I even said it. I think when I was working for CBS, I said that tie's over. Spurs will go on and win that. The fact for them getting beat 3-2, that arguably could be the biggest shock in their history in terms of European football.
Yeah. We had a caller 2 nights ago. I think yesterday. I think it was Drive. I was listening to yesterday. I think it was where they had for Heads Gone. They played a Spurs fan that phoned up my show and said he'd rather Spurs lose in the League Cup final to Man City if it means Jose going.
I've heard that.
Now, do you think a lot of Tottenham fans, bearing in mind Spurs are desperate for silverware, the last, ironically, thing they won was the League Cup in 2008. Do you think that the majority of Spurs fans listening just want Jose out, and even if it means losing to City or whoever, for that matter, in a League Cup final, they'll take that? Defeat rather than 2 more years of Jose?
I think that would be split, because I think you're going to have the fans that are desperate for a trophy, just some form of silverware.
But are they not as desperate for their club back?
They are, but I think that's why I think it'll be split. I think half the supporters will be like, do you know what? Give me a trophy, and then we'll worry about what happens after that later. But you're going to get the half that are probably still thinking about Poch.
Yeah.
Still thinking about their club going forward. Get him out. If it means us losing the final and him going, I'd rather we lost and he go than win.
How bad is Jose now?
See, I still don't think... I wouldn't say he's a bad manager. I don't think he's a bad manager, but I just think for whatever reason, his tactics might be a bit dated now.
Okay, this is a tough one to answer. Why do you think he was brought into Spurs? To do what? You look at some managers...
Win trophies.
Okay, so for argument's sake, Pep Guardiola, right, was brought into Man City to take them to the next level. That level was Champions League.
Yeah.
Okay, because the managers before had won the Premier League.
Yeah.
So that was...
But even though he hasn't won the Champions League, he's still taken them to another level.
He is, but you kind of think... I don't want to go down the Pep road, but you kind of think that if he doesn't win the Champions League with them, I won't say failure, but it's a box that's certainly not ticked. He's been brought in to do that.
Yes.
What has Jose been brought in to do at Spurs?
Win a trophy. Because
that's it. Just stop that drought.
Well, he was never going to be a manager that we're going to bring in. That was a project. 2, 3, 4 years down the line, he's going to keep building teams. That wasn't him. That was Pochettino. That's what he did. But when they got rid of Poch at the time that they did, and we know they were kind of on the decline then, they brought in Jose Mourinho specifically to win a trophy. Okay,
so answer me this then, right? If Jose's there for, I think his contract, the remainder of his contract is 2023, right? And he's on something ridiculous like £15 million a year. It's crazy. If he ends that term, so in 2 years' time, and he looks back and he wins this League Cup against Man City, you said he's been brought in to win trophies, or a trophy. Do you look back at his time there at Spurs and say that was a success?
No, I'd say he paved over the cracks. And I think that's all that is now. The fact that they've gone out of Europe, because a lot of people were putting them as favourites for the Europa.
Yeah,
them and United, I think, were the two favourites, weren't they?
Yeah.
And the fact that they've gone out of that the way they have against Zagreb, I think him winning the League Cup, I still don't think it's enough now. All of a sudden, I think that's just paving over the cracks to say, well, look what I've done. And I think Jose would probably do that. At the end of the season, if he was to go, they sacked him or he walked, he'd go, well, I've done my job. I won him a trophy.
Let's put it out there to Spurs fans. It was an awful night. If you didn't have your chance to phone in last night on the Sports Bar, you've got a good chance now to talk about your side, talk about Jose Mourinho. I wonder if there's other Spurs fans that would happily take defeat in the League Cup final against Man City if it meant that Jose walked. Or...
That is deep.
Well, it is deep. Or would you take that cup final win if it meant Jose staying for at least 2 more years?